Starstruck.
Hello and welcome to Joyride. I am Jared Brandon Flandy.
And I'm Kyle Dotterman.
And this is the show that is about the journey and not the destination. So I just thought I would open up this time around. We had David Lynch last time, of course.
Yeah, that was great. Good to have him in. Incredible.
We brought it back from the dead.
Yeah, necromancy is one of our many talents here at Joyride. The legality we're still working through.
Working on it. I don't know if you can copyright a dead person.
Well, we did fire the legal department, so yeah. They weren't giving us the answers we needed. We needed more guys willing to write things on hotel stationery in 1947. That's what we're looking for.
Well, speaking of all that, we're actually going to roll into a part of this is a legal drama for this final part here.
I'm going to say a pretty short one, possibly.
So to recap, Harry filed a massive lawsuit against the Ford Motor Company.
By our calculations, inflation adjusted to over $4 billion US, $250 million at the time.
And he has every intention of winning, even though he's much smaller of the two. So
yes, our inflation calculator literally broke when we tried to put the numbers in.
So this is the final part of the Harry Ferguson saga, The Mad Mechanic of Belfast, Part 6.
All right.
The Battle of Ford Ferguson... I'm turned Swedish.
Ford Ferguson.
Or Irish there. I've got so Irish in this one.
Yeah, it's because you did the David Lynch thing and how we're caught up. Yeah.
The Battle of Ford versus Ferguson had begun.
That's good.
You didn't catch that little note there? Ford versus Ferguson, not Ferrari?
Not Ferrari.
No, I worked hard on that one.
I can't drift my tractor.
The lawsuit was filed in the Southern District of New York, but this would prove to be the easy part.
It seems like every lawsuit is filed in the Southern District of New York.
Serving it would be the hard part because New York state law at the time decreed the defendant could only be served if they were physically in the state of New York. Harry wanted the case to happen in New York and not in Michigan since he knew it would be hard to find a jury that would not side with one of the largest employers in the state.
It seems like it would be kind of hard anywhere, but sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's taking the home court advantage away from them.
For his $4 billion inflation-adjusted lawsuit.
As usual, though, in the case of Harry, luck was on his side.
Okay.
I mean, he is Irish, after all.
Yep.
His legal team had found out Henry Ford II was in New York to give a lecture, providing them the opportunity to serve him the lawsuit. Like Michael Corleone ending a mafia war in one tactical move, the Ferguson lawyers had been tipped off when the other defendants would arrive at the Grand Central Station, where they were then all served as they stepped from their train cars and in front of a gathered crowd.
Wow. It's ridiculous.
In March of 1948, a cosmically comical situation occurred.
Cosmically comical. Okay, sounds like an interesting series of events upcoming.
Ford II was in London doing business. Quote, I was going into Claridge's and saw a car outside. I thought to myself, that's a beautiful car.
Is it the Rolls?
When Ferguson stepped out.
Of course it's the Rolls.
They entered the elevator where they both partook in an awkward conversation while traveling 3 floors upward.
Hey, so you're trying to take $4 billion from me? I don't even know. Is that allowed? Harry Ferguson's like, it's a damn thing what you done to me.
The elevator doors parted, or lift, as you would say over there, and the industrialist stepped out. According to Ford II, Harry said, "I'm going to my room. I always have 301. 301, excuse me."
There you go. Okay. Couldn't dignify that with a response until we got it right.
Ford replied, "You're not. The room is mine." So we parted. Harry's version of the story pretty much was the same until the end. Quote, "All right, Henry, you can have my room, but not my system."
He stomp his foot.
like a teenage girl.
Yeah. In a Nickelodeon show. My goodness.
I miss old school Nickelodeon. I don't mean to be nostalgic, but
that's okay.
Nickelodeon was where it was at.
There was some really good stuff, you know. It was a good time.
Mm-hmm. I was there for the first episode of SpongeBob SquarePants in May of 1999.
No, I was not alive.
Yeah, well, the world did exist before you were born. SpongeBob is older than you. That is the basic.
SpongeBob is, he's pretty old, though. So I feel like, I'm almost the same age as SpongeBob. I mean, who caused societal downfall? Was it me or was it SpongeBob? Next week on the Joyride podcast.
Even though Harry was now beginning an arduous legal battle, he managed to do the impossible. He procured a factory property in Detroit and secretly under the name of Mr. Harlan to avoid suspicion from Ford. Another H, but at least it's not Henry or Harry.
Yeah. Like, it's a different guy. How could we know?
It's not Harry or Henry. It has to be a different guy.
Apparently, see, that's just apparently you can just give the wrong name for stuff. Who knew? Like, this is news to me that you can just do that. I'm gonna start putting stuff under your name. Apparently, it's allowed. I'm gonna start signing as other people. This is allowed, apparently, or I guess it was in 1947.
You could get away with a lot back then.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, you could invade most of Europe, and it was just not good.
Yeah,
just a lot going on.
Oops.
Yeah, whoops.
On October 11th, 1948, Harry drove the first tractor off the assembly line. Pretty soon, 100 tractors a day were being built, and they were also able to sway a considerable amount of the dealers back from the Dearborn Corporation. Yeah. Along with the tractors being built in Britain, Harry's dream of manufacturing around the world was becoming true. The legal case continued on. Henry Ford II was obviously starting to become fatigued, so he offered to travel to Britain to settle it once and for all. The agreed meeting place would be in London at Claridge's Hotel, but this time on purpose.
301.
Yeah, the same room. At room 335.
301 was occupied.
Ford initially offered $10 million to settle.
Okay.
Just a lot less than the initial amount.
Still, but hey, the inflation calculator will do that, so I'm getting it out. So you keep going.
Okay. Harry stood up and said, "I can't accept, gentlemen. Goodbye, Henry. Give my regards to your mother."
Okay, so... Lord Almighty. I don't think he meant it that way, but okay. So the inflation calculator
can it handle that amount?
That is the literal maximum amount it will take is $10 million. That is the equivalent in May of 2026 of $155,871,162.79.
And he just said no to it.
If I was his wife, I'd be like, what the hell? What the hell?
As Harry exited the hotel, reporters were outside waiting for him. When asked what he was going to do next, Harry replied, "I'm going home." So he turned into Cartman.
Yeah.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Thank you, Cat. Like, this guy is such an ass. I've been rooting for you, Harry, but what the hell? His wife's like, what's going on, man? $150 million? Come on.
Harry decided to play the long game. The case dragged on for years. But by 1952, Ford was tired and finally decided to settle. Ford agreed to stop using a majority of the Ferguson patent concepts in the production of their tractors. So what it was about, it wasn't the money. It was just the principle, essentially, even though it was $150 million he was offered. To quote Colin Fraser, the author, thus a litigation which involved over 80,000 dispositions, over 1 million documents, 200 lawyers, and cost Ferguson about $3.5 million came to a close. David had beat Goliath. The legal battle had been won, and to top it off, Harry's business empire was doing better than ever. Consequently, Harry began to treat himself. Aside from his penchant of owning fine cars, such as Rolls-Royces, he eventually purchased Abbotswood, a sprawling English manor estate that was in the Cotswolds near Oxford.
All right.
With the lawsuit over, Harry decided to slow down a bit so he could enjoy the lifestyle of a country gentleman. Which I totally see you doing one day. I don't know why. I see you in a little flat cap and a tweed suit and a tie.
Yeah, I could see that. You will.
So, one of his favorite pastimes was using his tractor to mow the grass around the estate.
What an asshole. I don't know why that pisses me off so
Why
much.
does that piss you off?
Like the idea that he probably was mowing it perfectly and he kept running over that lady's bush every time. And
clarify that. You have a big mark on your head from that, right?
Oh, well, you know, I said what I said. Folks, they were raspberry bushes.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Thank you.
He would know. Yeah, so
Yes, so you're turning red.
there's a lot to unpack here.
As much as he enjoyed this, he was still fairly active with the day-to-day operations of his business interests.
Yep.
One particular area he focused on was his training schools. Not that he had to pay much attention to them. By this time, Ferguson equipment was so popular the company's salesmen did not have to work hard to convince customers to buy it. Harry, on the other hand, was concerned about organization and the finer details, and he wanted his staff to be just as focused about those things as he was. For example, Noel Newsom, which is still an N, but it's not a Harry or a Henry.
Thank God.
Noel Newsom was teaching an equipment course one day. He was told, quote, the old man wanted to see him.
Oh, God.
Newsom did not want to waste time changing out of his overalls, so this is what he was wearing when he entered the boardroom where Harry was waiting for him. Harry eyed him and said, quote, of course, one of the things you've got to realize working for us is that you must dress properly. In reply, I don't normally dress like this, replied Newsom. Henry retorted, all right, but you're too fat. You ought to do something about it.
Wow. Hit him with a you're fat lol. Wow. Harry Ferguson, if he was born today, would be a Reddit troll.
Oh, totally. Totally. Despite Harry's down-to-earth business identity, he was now hobnobbing with the upper echelons of society. Wishing to remain relevant, he organized a gala event with his tractor as the highlight.
Only in the Cotswolds.
The
honey, are we going to the event? It's 2 weeks from today. The centerpiece is a massive tractor. Can you believe that?
Well, it's funny you say it because ironically, that's where Jeremy Clarkson's farm's at, is in the Cotswolds. So they're neighbors, there would have been neighbors. So
unbelievable.
Yeah.
This tractor. Can you believe this?
The venue he decided upon was an old haunt of his, Claridge's, so the hotel in London.
It's 301, isn't it?
He requested the main ballroom, which had one of his tractors coupled to a plow on display. The hotel was initially horrified at such an idea, but he was eventually able to convince him when he pulled a patriotic guilt trip about how important his equipment was going to be for the world. Well, all right.
And the fact that Claridge is probably between them and the Fords, so they were the only people ever staying there, apparently.
And I'll sue you for $4 billion
Yes.
if you don't do it.
4 billion what?
As bubbly was being poured while nasally rich people conversations were occurring in the background.
Yes, indeed. The market.
A Russian guest negatively questioned the maneuverability of the tractor.
Oh.
I'm going to just leave you that one open for you.
Oh.
The tractor is absolute shit.
Tractor. This is an inferior tractor. King.
Not sure if that was the Count from Sesame Street or an Italian guy.
He has a checkered past.
Okay, fair enough. Even though Harry was good with words, he decided to take a less verbal approach this time.
Wow. Growth.
To quote Colin Fraser,
Uh-oh.
he climbed onto the tractor,
Uh-oh.
started it,
Uh-oh.
and deftly executed a number of dainty pirouettes where on a less cataclysmic occasions at Claridge's, bejeweled and bemedaled royalty and nobility swirled. Having swung the landslide of the plow within a millimeter of the brocade curtains, he drove the tractor into the lobby, calling for the startled people to clear the way and bumped down the steps into the street.
This party's
Out
awesome.
of the way!
Remember earlier when I said you can't drift a tractor? Hang on. Fast and the Furious 14. Tractors on ice.
On that note, I've only seen 2 of the Fast and Furious movies.
Yep.
I saw the first one,
Yep.
and then I saw Fast 7 with my sister
Wow, that's a big jump.
in 2015. When I think that's when it came out. And
Yeah,
I
that sounds
said,
about right.
"Yeah," I said I haven't seen the rest. And she goes, "You don't really have to." And she's not really wrong.
The ride at Universal is terrible. It's the
Yeah, I
worst
have been
ride.
on it too.
It's mediocre. What are they doing? What is that? What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? What's going on?
When it got done, we came out of the theater that went over here
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Highway 18.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I went, "What happened?"
Yeah. Seriously, that's a great question.
Because it's like they were just guys that were street racing. And then I brought this up with Adam, our former co-host here. And I went, "It used to just be guys street racing. Now they're like secret agents jumping between buildings and cars. What's next? They go to space?" Yeah, silence. What? No. Yes, they go to space. It's like, oh, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
So
I live my life 1/4 mile at a time. That's a weird distance, man. I usually live it at a distance that I choose every day. That's a terrible Vin Diesel. He was in that movie, The Pacifier. What was that?
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a film.
All those guys, all those tough guys. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger did Kindergarten Cop. They all got to do one. They all have to do one of those at least.
Yeah, but Kindergarten Cop is good.
Well, fair enough.
Okay, my wife loves The Pacifier for some reason, so
does she listen?
We'll find out. We'll leave this part in.
Okay.
We'll make sure.
I want make sure you're safe. That's
Yeah.
During this latter period of Harry's life, he was working harder than ever to convince the American and British governments to adapt his price reduction system. Remember that thing?
Yeah.
Right, so
interestingly, that the price reduction system brought on by the person levying the biggest damn lawsuit ever seen by anybody.
The economic betterment concept he had first hinted at while in Oregon. In October of 1949, he sent out a 7-page letter to just about every conservative and Labour Party member of Parliament that overly elaborated his ideas.
All drafted on hotel stationery.
I'm sure. Interestingly enough, it was Newsom who would connect Harry with an extremely well-known figure. Newsom was at a party when he happened to bump into Winston Churchill.
As you do.
As with many lucky breaks in this story, Newsom, remember the guy that was too fat? This is who this is.
That's crazy.
Newsom just happened to be related to Churchill's wife, Clementine, through marriage.
That's insane.
Reality plus, as you put it. Yeah.
Yes.
While visiting with his relatives, Newsom said to Mr. Churchill, quote, "You know, I think you should meet Harry Ferguson. You'd find it interesting." Churchill looked at him. What? That charlatan who's toting his tractors around?
We have been just blessed with the awful accents. That one was pretty decent, though. I'll give you that. It's like he's here in the room with us. So much congestion in the British accent.
I don't have a big old stogie in my mouth, unfortunately.
Yes, yeah, I gotta chew on it.
When you get a moment, you'll approve of his eating, drinking, and smoking habits. I don't know how he lived as long as he did.
Spite goes a long way, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Despite Churchill's opinion of Ferguson, Newsom was able to convince him to grant Harry an audience.
Wow.
Are you concerned?
I'm concerned. Yeah. Just the amount of what we ever.
No, we're good.
Okay. Just the amount of two people. How much could they insult each other before the universe kind of hits a singularity point and just implodes? A certain point that you can't cross.
A lunch was planned in 1950.
Was it at the same hotel?
Harry brought along his wind-up tractor and plow.
Oh, much like the one here on the table.
Which he used to explain his system to Churchill. He then went into detail about his price reduction system and how Roosevelt was going to implement it but died before he could. During the lunch, Harry also told Churchill he felt the name of the Conservative Party should be changed and that he was sincere about his ideas, otherwise he would not have given the wartime leader even 10 minutes of his time.
Yeah, it's just not one of the men responsible for the current construction of the free world and the saving of millions of people. Not worth 10 minutes of Harry Ferguson's time.
Churchill chuckled at the directness.
Yes, I imagine he did.
After lunch, Churchill led Harry around the house, showing some of his own prized possessions before Harry deported.
Oh, this was at Churchill's house?
Yeah, they went to his house.
And he said he wouldn't give him 10 minutes of his time, and even at his own house? What an asshole. You're at the guy's house. You're at Winston Churchill's house.
When Newsom asked the statesman what he thought of Mr. Ferguson, Churchill said, "He's a remarkable fellow. Remarkable. Bit of a one-track mind.
Tractor mind.
But remarkable."
Okay, wait a minute. Was this at his personal house or was this at 10 Downing?
It was no. I don't know. Now you say that, I want to say it was at a personal, private residence. Otherwise, it probably would have. The source would have probably mentioned that. So
I would imagine. So.
I would imagine it was a private residence.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that kind of answers that. When Winston Churchill became prime minister again in 1951,
gotcha.
Harry sent a congratulatory letter and a plea for the government to implement his price reduction scheme.
Yeah.
The prime minister initially replied, but when he said he did not have the time to meet with Harry to discuss the matter, Harry decided no longer to keep sending letters. Well, he didn't ghost him. He just said, "I just can't get with this." He did send letters to all the other big names in politics at the time, most of which did not show much interest. Part of the problem was Harry did not really work out the details of the scheme. Something he felt the government should simply do for him.
Yeah. That's all that detail work.
Yeah.
Quite complicated.
Alas, this was the beginning of the end of Harry's flirtations with the world of politics. Winston Churchill did not entirely forget about Harry, however. Churchill even offered a knighthood to Harry, of which he declined. You love this guy, don't you?
An ass. I guess an Irishman, okay, but there's probably some more to it than I'm giving it credit for.
He felt being considered an industrialist was honorable enough. This is what this guy is so complicated. I mean, he's got some humbleness, but at the same time, he's just an ass.
It's really hard to square the circle that is Harry Ferguson.
Even though Harry may have had a capricious nature at times, his concern for the everyday person must have been sincere. Although he did not receive support for his price reduction scheme, he did what he could through his business. He did make a decent profit from the implements, but he made little money from the tractors and insisted they be designed as simple as possible so farmers could easily afford to fix them when needed. As grand a gesture as this was, the agricultural marketplace was becoming more and more competitive. When Harry was 70, he decided it was time to make some decisions. Betty had recently married, but with no other children to pass down his empire to, Harry felt it was time to either sell his company or merge with another entity.
Okay.
Being so particular about the abilities of his own equipment, the main question was who to sell or who to merge with, and who was the most worthy to carry on the legacy of the Ferguson system. Harry eventually decided to start negotiations with Massey Harris of Canada, the largest manufacturer of agricultural equipment in the British Empire. And I bet they met at a Tim Hortons.
Was Tim Hortons even around yet?
Probably not. I think he was the hockey player, the founder of the company.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the only jobs in Canada.
No, it is.
Hockey player.
Player.
Lumberjack.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maple syrup maker.
A government grifter, as per our previous episodes. That seems to be up and going. So you can always go that route if you're
Yellow belt salesman.
Yeah.
So,
Disco Dick. That's also around.
Intrigued by such a proposition, James Duncan, the president of Massey Harris, ventured to England to commence a dialogue with Harry. Although Harry was his usual self in a lot of ways, Duncan and himself managed to find a respect for one another.
That's to say that he was like, this is a good opportunity. I'm just going to take it from this annoying old man and just get through this conversation.
Yeah, probably. According to author Colin Fraser, quote, even if that first intimate meeting was inclusive, it established one important thing very firmly. Ferguson and Duncan liked each other, and it was particularly important that the former should like the latter if there was to be any further intercourse between them.
Colin. Let's think about our words here.
So you kind of stepped on the rake, but did before it hit you in the face. So
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah. Colin, what are we doing, man? We're gonna do what with what?
During a later meeting, Harry declared to Duncan that a contract would not be required. A handshake agreement would be satisfactory.
Wow. Real departure from his whole life here. I think the other guy would say, oh, hell no.
Although some of Harry's business partners were not so keen on such an offer, Duncan decided to take it.
After watching the Ford Motor Company get sued for $11 trillion. What a fool. Okay.
The Ferguson name was highly valued worldwide, after all. It was decided Massey Harris would own so much of Ferguson, and Mr. Ferguson would own so much of Massey Harris. It was also agreed that Harry would be chairman of the board, something Duncan would later regret.
Yeah, I imagine so. Okay. What the hell are we doing? What part of this story made this guy think, yeah, this is a great idea? You know, this guy who sued for $11 quadrillion. Let's see, all the other handshake deals have gone sideways. Yeah, let's do it.
No, it'll be different with me.
Yeah,
that's probably what he's thinking.
Obviously, yeah.
The handshake agreement worked initially, but things started.
They tend to do that.
But things started to become complicated when it came down to how much Harry wanted to pay for Massey Harris shares, which would be $16 million or $17 million.
Okay.
Harry suggested they settle it the Irish way, which was a coin toss.
Okay.
For $1 million.
Should I get the calculator out?
Harry reassured his rivals by saying, "Go on, I always lose anyway." Harry lost. But the deal was done now. The new company would become known as Massey Harris Ferguson.
Okay. That's back when you could just name a company by smashing names together.
Yep. Meanwhile, this being Harry's slower years, he decided to return to one of his main passions in life, cars.
I thought you were going to say planes, but...
No, he swore that off, remember?
Yep.
Yep.
You never know.
He kicked that habit.
Obviously, his decision-making has been spectacular.
Which, compared to some of our other protagonists, they couldn't kick that habit. So good for Harry and his aviation sobriety. Okay,
yep. It's not always clear.
Harry is most famous for his contributions to agriculture, but he also made contributions to automobile design, particularly in the realm of carburetors. During his involvement with the Ulster TT, Harry befriended a driver/engineer by the name of Freddie Dixon. Hey, not a Harry or Henry.
Hey, but he is a Freddie Harry. It's a Freddie Harry Dick combination.
Who had served in World War II and was held as a prisoner of war for a time.
Whoa, Freddie. My goodness.
In the maximum security castle where he was held. Yes, castle.
What in the world is Freddie? Freddie, can we do an episode about this guy?
He and his fellow prisoners constructed a glider made out of floorboards to escape.
We need to. What are we doing? What are we talking about this guy? We need to talk about this guy.
The castle was liberated before they could use it to escape, however. I read that too, but that's an episode on itself.
We need an alternate history where they use it and it immediately fails, but, at least they tried.
The castle was liberated before they could use... Oh, sorry, I read that. During the war, Dixon envisioned a land speed record car that featured a four-wheel drive system. When Harry returned to Britain in 1949... Dixon was one of the first people he wanted to check in on. Harry was intrigued with the four-wheel drive prototype Dixon and Rolt had developed, Rolt being a buddy, so he offered to finance the rest of the project. In April of 1950, Harry Ferguson Research was established. Shortly before the founding of the new company, another self-made engineer joined the team, which was Claude Hill. Great name.
It's better than Harry Henry
Hill. Hill previously worked for Aston Martin, was instrumental in the development of the DB2, a car that would lead to the great legacy of the DB or David Brown series of Aston Martins.
As we previously discussed.
Mm-hmm. The plan had shifted from a land speed car to a revolutionary family car, which would be more safe than other cars on the road due to the four-wheel drive system. Meanwhile, things were not going as well at Massey Harris Ferguson. Duncan had been worried about Harry's temperament, but brushed it off since he felt he and Harry had got along well. It would not take long for him to realize the seriousness of the warnings he had received. As chairman of the board, Harry wanted to be at every meeting and, of course, wanted to have end-to-end control of every product the company made, neither of which was practical at the end of the day.
Yeah, many of the things that he wants aren't very practical, but that has not stopped him before.
Duncan was now tearing his hair out when it came to life with Harry. I almost said tearing his Harry out when it came to life with Harry.
Tearing his Terry out with his Harry. I'm tearing my Harry off.
The disagreements between the executives in Canada and Harry became numerous. Harry wanted the price of the tractors lowered, and he continually refused to accept building any tractor design that was not to his liking, including a tricycle tractor that would have been made specifically for the American Corn Belt. Now, if you're going, what is that? So 2 wheels up front and then 1 wheel up front, which was a fairly common design.
Back, you said 2 wheels back, 1 wheel front.
2 wheels back, 1 wheel front. Sorry.
Yes.
Yep.
You said 2 wheels back.
I got it backwards.
All 3 of the wheels in the front, none in the back.
2 wheels back, 1 wheel front. Yep. Finally, after many fiery words had been shot back and forth, and to the great relief of the company's suits, Harry sent them a letter stating he was resigning from Massey Harris Ferguson. To cap it off, he wished to sell every single share he owned. Duncan and another executive, Phillips Bud McDougald, made their way to England right away in hopes of coming to an agreement. We got a Bud in here. Well, that's good.
No, that's good. He's solid pal.
Yeah. So, a great deal of verbal jousting occurred after the men from Canada had sat down in Harry's manor. But as the evening drew near, Harry said he was tired and he was going to send the gentlemen along with Maureen to dinner in town. He further added they would hash out final details when they got back. Thinking they were finally on the home stretch, Duncan and McDougald were beyond relieved. While the rest of the party made their way to the restaurant, McDougald went to a private room to make a phone call about having $15 million wired to England to purchase Harry's shares. Without realizing everyone had not left, Harry irritably said to his butler, "Where is everybody?" "They've all gone to dinner at the Bay Tree, Mr. Ferguson," said the butler. Well, they didn't show much consideration for me. They were insisting on closing the negotiations today. I'm going to bed, and the talks are off until tomorrow. You can tell them that, ranted Harry in reply.
And the butler said, very good, sir.
McDougall, hearing this, appeared in the hallway and said, Harry, have you gone off your head? Or should I do this in a Canadian accent? Harry, how do I do it? Oh, God, there's so many Irish here. I say, I got to be Canadian. Harry, have you gone off your head? No, I can't do it now because I'm so Irish. We'll leave that one, say where it is. Yeah. Harry, have you gone off your head?
Yep.
You sent the whole damn lot of them off to dinner. You thought I'd gone too, but I was on the telephone and I had heard what you said. I'm going over to bring them back and we'll settle this bloody deal tonight. Well, you're an inconsiderate lot, said Harry.
What is it? This guy's such an ass. Such an ass. Also, okay, back up 1 minute.
Okay.
So, this guy, the initial Canadian businessman, who I'm forgetting his name right now, the guy that makes the deal, Duncan. Duncan makes this deal to make him the chair. Harry's entire thing is a political system in which things don't get more expensive. Sort of the antithesis of what you would want the chairman of your board of the Making Stuff Corporation to do. I don't know, just an idea, something you might want to think about, Duncan. I don't know. Is your line still open? maybe check that out.
We'll learn a bit about Duncan here in a bit. Well, McDougall ignored him and had Harry's secretary Trevor Garbutt drive him to the Bay Tree in Burford. Yeah. As the party was starting to slip, as me like I'm trying to slip in my reading here. As the party was starting to sip at their soup, MacDonald came in and blurted, "Your dinner is off. The whole of you get back into your cars."
Just started the French onion. God.
The businessman returned to Harry's library. There was some more haggling, but finally a settlement was agreed upon. With time, Massey Harris Ferguson was renamed Massey Ferguson, the name it is still known as today.
Wow.
Due to the questionable way the company was being run, Duncan was eventually replaced as CEO by Albert Thornborough, who led the company through a golden age. He started his career as a parts man.
Wow.
And so did I. I was a parts man.
There you go.
I was a parts man for a John Deere dealer and a parts man for a British car import company.
There you go.
Well, if that goes to plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things are looking good for me.
We're on our way.
Yeah. So, with the sales of his shares, Harry officially had retired from the farm machinery world. To acknowledge this, the Daily Express wrote, which is a newspaper.
Yep.
Quote, Mr. Harry Ferguson has made ears of corn grow where before there were none at all. Now he turns from tractors to a new project, a car that will give unimagined service to the people. Salute the Fergusons for the benefits of they provide. They may grow rich, but they make the world grow richer.
Interesting. And the addendum there at the end was, and he's a real asshole.
Harry indeed turned his attention to the construction of the new revolutionary car. With money from the sale of the agricultural business, Harry began to search for a company to build the car. But this time, he did not just want to find a company to build it for him. He wanted to buy the company itself.
Okay.
The company that built the tractor, Standard Motor, was an initial thought, but management there was not very keen to have to build two Ferguson machines at the same time. Probably one of the more smarter people in the story.
Yeah. Anybody that's in the story for a limited amount of time, smarter.
Harry considered going into business with Sir William Lyons, the owner of Jaguar. But negotiations were short-lived. Other prospective companies included British Motor Racing, BMR, and the Rover Motor Company, but negotiations with both of these companies also proved short-lived. Although Harry was trying to get into the car business at this point, he considered himself semi-retired. Part of the reason for this was a combination of imagined health problems, but also genuine ones, such as possibly having hemorrhoids so bad he insisted on carrying a rubber donut with him at all times. I wonder if the donut came from Tim Hortons. You're he just bashed into his mic. He's laughing so bad.
Nothing like the hemorrhoid donut. Tim Hortons. That honestly might be the most appealing thing on the menu. What is going on?
He's a grouchy old man.
Yeah.
So, in order,
I
go
don't
ahead.
even want to ask what the donut's for.
Well, so he's not sitting directly on everything.
I see.
He's
Yeah.
propped up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm starting to get the picture here. Yeah. Okay.
In order to improve his general well-being, him and Maureen made a trip to South Africa.
Where health is generally found.
Harry hated it.
Yeah, I imagine so.
He found little interest in the natural wonders of Africa, but he did love talking to the engineers at the train station.
Oh, shit. Like
I love this guy.
Yeah.
I love this guy.
He's so funny.
Apparently the trains were still not enough, since he requested the resident doctor of the hotel to come up to the room with the hope of being told South Africa was killing him. Such a whiny bitch.
Yep. He's an asshole in every sense of the word.
After examining Harry, the doctor's prognosis was that South Africa, in fact, was not killing him.
Yes, he just has a little bit of incurable bitch disease.
After a little more sightseeing, along with meeting some South African farmers who bought Ferguson equipment, Harry was eventually able to convince Maureen to book an early trip back to England. When he returned to England's green and pleasant land, Harry got to work demonstrating the new four-wheel drive car. In the parkland of his estate, he would utilize his famous, if not slightly eccentric, showman skills. To highlight what the car could do, Harry had his Rolls-Royce purposely driven into a muddy field where it would smash its way through the property like a bucking bronco until it got stuck.
What? Okay.
He would then have the little car, being the experimental one, pull the big and heavy Rolls-Royce free from the mud.
Okay.
Other demonstrations included Harry driving the car up and down steep slopes with fear-stricken passengers such as the Duke of Edinburgh, otherwise known as Prince Philip.
Yeah. I'm exasperated over here.
When he was not making members of the royal family shit their pants, Harry continued to travel. Having lived in England and America for decent portions of his life, Harry began to make return trips to his beloved Northern Ireland. Being nearly 80 years of age, he liked to reminisce while going on walks. On one particular occasion, he strolled down the beach where he crash-landed his airplane over and over again all those years ago.
Yep.
Life was now rather quiet for Harry, but unsurprisingly for him, fate would intervene. Being so familiar with Britain and Ireland, the Fergusons decided to visit another island during holiday, Jamaica.
Okay, as you do.
Harry and Maureen were staying at the Sunset Lounge, a well-known hotel that featured an array of bungalows. But Harry's escape to tropical paradise would be rudely interrupted. Harry was not sleeping well, and about 2 a.m, he woke up and took an extra amount of sleeping pills to fall back into an easy slumber. However, the pills apparently were not strong enough to keep Harry asleep, as he was being beaten on the head. He woke to a strange sleep paralysis demon who was either a man or a woman. He could not tell. The demon, in actuality, was a burglar. The burglar held a flashlight in one hand and a gun in the other. Despite death being pointed directly at him, Harry sprung out of bed and squared up to his much taller foe. The burglar stepped back and pulled the trigger. The bullet exploded from the barrel and ricocheted around the room before it finally exited through the roof. Harry jumped up to cover his wife's bed and said, "Call the hotel for help," which she calmly did. The burglar fired another bullet, this time hitting Harry in the leg, but he brushed the flesh wound off like it was nothing.
Just made a flesh wound.
The burglar, realizing that nothing was going to plan, ran for the door and ripped it open to make a confused and hasty escape while being chased by an angry 70-plus-year-old man. Harry screamed at him, "Get the hell out of this! You won't get any money from me!"
You robbed the tightest asshole. This guy was, even if he had gotten it, the guy would have chased him to the ends of the earth.
Once the culprit was arrested, it was discovered the burglar was actually a man dressed as a woman.
In a Miss Doubtfire situation going on. Help is on the way, dearie! Help is on the way! God.
Later, when the Fergusons arrived at the airport, Harry was swarmed with reporters. Being a human quote machine, he informed them, "I told him to go. He did. He didn't get away with a single damn cent. Tell the Chancellor we saved his sterling."
She.
Yes, she. One of Harry's favorite pastimes in his later life was hanging out at the Silverstone racetrack, home of the British Grand Prix. Harry loved to fraternize with pit crews and drivers in the paddock. Even though he may have been a bit more chatty than they preferred, every racing team welcomed his presence and knowledge nonetheless. Harry was so passionate that he usually didn't notice the announcement that everyone other than the participants needed to leave the track. Once again, he only left because one time he only left because a race organizer boomed over the sound system, quote, "If Mr. Ferguson would be good enough to leave the track, we'll start the race."
I wonder who that Mr. Ferguson is. He's got to get out of here. That's probably what he thought.
These racetrack visits would additionally inspire Harry to have his team at the research division to start working on an F1 car that implemented the four-wheel drive technology they were working on. As much as it had appeared Harry was enjoying his semi-retirement years, it's been said a great darkness began to grow in him. Harry throughout his life was known to experience periods of melancholy, and by 1960 had fallen into a state of depression. On the morning of October 5th, 1960, Maureen was waiting for her husband to join her for their breakfast of fruit and scones. But when he was 5 minutes late, highly uncharacteristic of him, she began to worry. She went to check on him and was horrified to discover his limp body in the bathtub. The butler and footman arrived to lift him from the tub, and a doctor was summoned as well. Upon examination, the doctor's conclusion was unfortunate but certain. Harry Ferguson was dead. He was 75 years old. A pathologist later examined his body and deduced the cause of death was due to a barbiturate overdose.
Jeez.
The one question that remained was it an accident or suicide? Those who knew Harry well said he never would have committed suicide. To support their claim, a suicide note was never found. On the other hand, others felt it was totally in the realm of possibilities that he did indeed commit suicide. It's still a mystery to this day. Although Harry's life came to a mysterious and unresolved conclusion, the legacy of his work has continued on after his death. Millions of Guinness-guzzling tourists fly into Ireland every year on an airplane, but Harry Ferguson was the first. Motorsport has become a global phenomenon, but Mr. Ferguson was racing cars and motorcycles when they had barely been invented. Farmers, and not just in Britain and Ireland, who had been making their furrows with plow and horse, now use his tractors and implements to work the soil of their fields. Although the four-wheel drive car did not go into production, the race car version known as the Ferguson P99 was built and competed with none other than Sterling Moss behind the wheel. It was the first four-wheel drive car and the only four-wheel drive car to have participated and to have won a Formula One race. Last but far from least, once the patents on the Ferguson system expired, equipment manufacturers ranging from Case International, Kloss, Lamborghini, to John Deere implemented the three-point hitch system into their own product lines. Nearly 100 years later, it's still the world standard today. With this in mind, how does one sum up the life and legacy of Harry Ferguson? It goes without saying he was a complicated man. Cantankerous, capricious, obsessive, obstinate, progressive, passionate, charitable, and courteous are just some of the words that one could use to describe him. It could also be said Harry Ferguson loved many things, but it goes without saying the thing he loved the most in life was a joyride.
And that concludes our 6-part Joyride on Harry Ferguson.
The Mad Mechanic of Belfast.
I still think he's kind of an ass.
Overall, though, remember, I came down and I said down with you, and I said, okay, we're going to do a tractor one. And you looked at me kind of perplexed.
Yeah.
I went, just trust me. So
I feel like that's a fair thing to be perplexed.
yes, it is. Yeah.
You described it as a tractor one, but in reality, it was a cantankerous asshole one. We love cantankerous assholes are kind of our favorite on the show. Yeah, they're kind of how that butters our bread here. That lubes our engine here.
Nice touch.
Yeah.
Nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
So you like that one overall, though?
I'm a big fan of that one. Incredible how we were able to touch on so many, major historical figures, plowing of bushes. It was a true Joyride classic.
Yeah, the way I kind of thought of it really was Irish Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to sum it up. But, Forrest Gump wasn't an asshole.
No, you're right.
Comes with the territory.
All right, everyone. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that 6-part saga of Harry Ferguson. As I kind of left off with the last episode, I'm making a call to action. Please tell at least 2 people you know, friend, family, or foe, as Kyle has pointed out.
Enemies work too?
Enemies work too, yeah. Tell them about this show, all right? Do us a favor. Let's try to spread as many joy around the world via Joyrides, all right? And this is the last of our recorded. We hopefully will have a bonus episode coming up here.
Yep.
So stay tuned for that. And I'm glad you stuck with us for season 10 of all seasons. And we look forward to more to come.
And with that, we're concluding the 10th season.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I have any final remarks. Don't insult the Prime Minister at his own house. That's a good one. I would probably not do that. That would be good. I'd say overall, I think this one was a little more heartfelt than Colton Harris Moore.
And, I kind of did that on purpose. No offense to Colton Harris Moore or Malcolm Bricklin. And there was some Joyrides before that point where a lot of them were questionable characters, to put it politely. And I kind of wanted to do one with a bit of heart this time around.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it landed.
All right. Well, on that heartful note, I think we will close season 10.
All right.
And stay tuned for more to come. And please, by all means, check out all our additional social media stuff as well in the description box. So thank you, everyone.
See you later.
Signing out.
Bye.